So, the truth is, I was bored, so I made $1,094 in a single day at only 21. You and I, we've probably never met before. So my name is Fred, and I'm an entrepreneur from a lower middle class background. I went from only having $400 in my bank account over 5 years ago to generating over $1,000 in a single day at 21 selling services and digital products. And I also went from being socially anxious to the point I couldn't even go for a walk in the neighborhood to spreading my message with the world and generating over 40.7 million views on social media and standing with no audience. In this video, I'm sharing everything with you raw and unfiltered. I grew up in a small town, less than 10,000 people, in a lower middle class family. To be honest with you, life sucked. Every day I would hear my parents complaining about the price of bread or lettuce, and I would also hear them complain about who had to do chores like a lot of couples. My father worked a dead-end job he hated. He was treated like a commodity, a pawn. That led him to becoming depressed, alcoholic, and when I was a kid, even a teen, he would often become verbally and physically abusive towards me. When it comes to my mother, she was working a dangerous night job as a nursing assistant. Alongside with her other female co-workers, they had to deal with very violent patients. And when I mean violent, I mean thugs, I mean drug dealers, people that got into fight with gangs, so not exactly the friendly type. And with only one single security guard for the entire building, as you can probably guess, shit was bound to happen. Growing up, I felt profoundly dissatisfied with my life. I knew that lack of money and a toxic environment probably didn't help, but at the time, I didn't exactly know what to do about it. After all, I was just a kid, a teen. I didn't want to end up stuck in a dead-end job I'd hate, like my father, just to pay bills and taxes. But I also didn't see myself going to university, following the traditional route, and becoming yet another slave of the system. So I thought I'd probably become a cop and try joining the special forces because I wanted an action-filled job. But at the same time, I was sick and tired of witnessing pain and misery on a daily basis. A part of me longed for freedom, peace of mind, and abundance. Then, I got into a small private middle school near my hometown, and even though it wasn't an expensive private school, some wealthier kids definitely went there. So it was the first time in my life I ever got to interact with people with an abundance mindset. So whereas everyone in my environment up to this point was always stressing about bills, worrying about money, these wealthy kids, for them, $200 was pocket money, while for my parents, it was a lot of money. Some of these kids would literally get the latest iPhone every year, and they'd get dropped off to school in brand new BMWs and Porsches, while at the time I didn't even have a phone, and I was forced to take the crowded bus alongside the rest of the other broke kids. I remember when I was in middle school, even in high school, the wealthier kids making fun of me because I wasn't one of them. I was broke. The first day I showed up at school, all these wealthy kids had these expensive clothes and backpacks, and they made fun of me because my bag was cheap. Life was hell for me back then, because I'd go to school, get bullied, and then I'd come back home to a place that didn't feel like a home. Growing up, I had a very shitty relationship with my father, lots of verbal and physical abuse going on. Around that same time, my mother got diagnosed with cancer, and I also realized I could never join the special forces because of medical issues, and at the time, that was my dream. So I hit my lowest low. I felt like everything in my life was falling apart, and that's when I really got sick and tired of living a miserable existence, of never getting to enjoy life, and I started to really want more out of life. Ever since that day, I made it my mission to become successful and to provide for my family, because who else was going to do it for us? No one. There's nothing worse than growing up broke, never getting to do any of the things that you want, never going on real vacations because it costs money, and watching the people that you love breaking their backs every day only to earn breadcrumbs. That was the story of my life growing up. So I knew I wanted to get rich, because I understood from a very young age that the problems that money can't fix, nothing can fix. And if you're going to have problems anyway, I thought I'd much rather deal with rich people problems than broke people problems. So even though I knew I wanted to get rich, the issue is, at the time, I didn't know how yet. Until the day I randomly decided to type how to get rich in the YouTube search bar. I stumbled upon a video by an entrepreneur who was making money with his own online business while traveling the world. That moment changed my life forever. It made me realize that the internet was the new gold rush. So around 11 years old, I started my first online businesses. At first, I started growing Instagram team pages, but I quickly gave up on that business model and made no money with it, because to tell you the truth, I was skeptical. I didn't really believe in it. Then around 2019-2020, with a friend of mine at the time, we stumbled upon dropshipping, so we decided to give it a try. That was actually a stupid decision, because in order for us to make money, to market our product, my friend bought an expensive 2.5k dropshipping course, and in that course, we were taught to find a winning product and then launch some Facebook ads to get customers. The issue is, that course was marketed towards beginners, and when you're a beginner, you can't afford to risk hundreds of dollars per day on ads, because you're broke. Nevertheless, we tried it anyway. I was curious to see if we could actually make this into a success. So we built a Shopify store around the winning product, and we launched our first Facebook ads campaign. And I kid you not. Only 30 minutes later, we got our first sale. Now, of course, I had a feeling that this was too good to be true. At the time I was 17, I knew I wasn't going to become a multi-millionaire overnight. What ended up happening is that Facebook ads quickly ate up all of our ad budget. So we spent something like $100, $200 on ads, and we made $50, so not exactly worth it. The truth is, it took me 10 years, from the moment I was 11 to the moment I had my first $1,000 a day in sales at only 21. I saw very limited success until I transitioned to selling services and digital products. At first, I was providing lead generation services for entrepreneurs. If you sort my videos by oldest on my YouTube channel, you will see back in 2022, the first videos I posted, they were actually video sales letters in which I explained what I could do for my prospects. I wasn't trying to break the YouTube algorithm just yet. Now, if you want to hear my full story, how I went from struggling financially to generating upwards of $1,094 in a single day at only 21, I've recorded a free 1-hour long guide in which I explain everything, and I'm sharing with you the step-by-step process I used to make this happen, so you can literally just copy me. And in that same video, you'll discover the 2 best paths to $5,000 and $10,000 per month in 2024 and beyond. The link will be in the description below. So how can you copy me? First, if you're just starting out in business, you want to start a business that allows you to make mistakes for free. Don't start a business that requires you to spend money in order to acquire customers. Don't make the same mistake I made when I was a teen, which was to start a dropshipping business with Facebook ads because I lost a lot of money. Instead, leverage organic marketing, which would be direct outreach or posting content. This business model should also have high profit margins. That way, with only a few customers, you can actually quit your job and go full-time on your business. Selling services is a perfect example of that. Again, you can check out the free training in the description below if you want to learn how to do it step by step. I can't explain everything in this video, otherwise it would literally be 3 hours long. And then, in order to make a lot of money, you need to pick a painful problem to solve for people. The more painful the problem, the more money you'll be able to charge for it. You see, the reason why most passion businesses fail is because the business owner only thinks about what they want and what they need. When I'm sorry to break it to you, but if you want to make money and have a profitable business, your wants and your needs is the least important relevant part of the equation. What matters is what the customer wants. Why? Because the customer doesn't care about you. If you wanted to buy apples and I'm selling apples, would you care that I love apples or hate them? No, you don't care, you just want your apple. I know plenty of people who tried to start a business around their passion but failed miserably because there is simply no demand for what they offer. A lot of people are afraid of competition when they shouldn't be. If anything, competition is a good sign. It means there is demand for what you have to offer. I would much rather operate in a saturated market as opposed to being the first in a market where no one actually wants what you have to offer. You can be the first, but if no one cares, you won't make a single cent. That being said, if you found this video helpful, share it with a friend, and together, let's blow up this YouTube channel and empower ambitious individuals across the globe to become financially free.